The New York Giants are starting Jaxson Dart in week 4, and once again, the New York Giants are setting a young quarterback up for failure. First of all, Russell Wilson goes from a legendary legacy performance, throwing for almost 500 yards, going off with moonballs, to on the bench 2 weeks later. That's wild. But again, if you want to talk about setting your young quarterback up to fail, look at this schedule that Jaxson Dart gets to deal with right away. The first game you get is home to the Chargers, a great defense. Last year it was first in the NFL in points. This year it's fourth in the NFL in points. Then you get at New Orleans. Again, one of the worst teams in the NFL, but it's at the Superdome, one of the hardest places to play in the entire NFL. Then you get home to the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. You get at Patrick Surtain and that extremely tough Denver Broncos defense. Then you get at one of the toughest places to play against the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles. And then you get home to San Francisco. And even though it's no Nick Bosa, it's still going to be a really tough game against San Francisco. So I like Jaxson Dart, and I wasn't a huge fan of him coming out of the draft. I was impressed with him this preseason. I think he can be a good NFL quarterback at some point, but not with this version of the New York Giants. It's just not going to happen. A bad offensive line that PFF had ranked 30th heading into week 3. Andrew Thomas is just now getting back from a foot injury as well. We kind of saw him going in and out on Sunday Night Football. I do like these weapons, though. There's real upside with these weapons, especially with Malik Neighbors, but we're going to see more Cam Scatterbo after that Tyrone Tracy injury on Sunday Night Football, and Scatterbo came in and looked great against Kansas City as well. And I think Dart is a really good athlete. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of designed runs from him as well, but I think the thing we're going to see most from him is him running for his life, because this Giants offensive line is just so terrible. So again, I don't think he's in a situation to succeed right now. And on the Sunday Night Football broadcast, I know you two are watching it like I was, Chris Collinsworth said apparently the Giants had him running scout team last week, simulating Patrick Mahomes, and everybody on the Giants was like, wow, he really looks like Patrick Mahomes. Relax, bro. Relax. He does not look like Patrick Mahomes. What are we doing? Why are we setting this young kid up to fail like this? There is absolutely no shot he turns into Patrick Mahomes, no matter how good he ends up being. That's a once-in-a-lifetime football player. Stop it, New York Giants organization. That is absolutely horrible. Let the kid be his own quarterback. And again, you shouldn't even be letting the kid start right now, because the whole point of you going and getting Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston was to let this kid sit for the entire season. And now we're rushing him in week 4 because Brian Daboll's job is on the line and he wants to do anything to keep it. So in conclusion, again, I'm interested in this situation, but I am nervous for Jaxson Dart, and especially Jaxson Dart's long-term development getting thrown into the fire like this so early. But I got to kick it to these guys. What do you guys think? Is this the right decision, moving to Jaxson Dart here in week 4?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And how can you bring in 2 vet QBs and just immediately after 3 weeks throw in the rookie in there? I mean, at the very least, give Jameis Winston some run. We all know the antics of Jameis Winston. He's either really damn erratic or pretty damn good, honestly. No in between, and that's why he's not really trusted. But you have weapons on your offense, okay? You do. You have Wan'Dale Robinson. You got guys like Malik Neighbors, right? Cam Scatterbo off the backfield, and an offensive line that, yeah, you know what? It's not the best, but let me tell you, man, if there's one person who can who can try his best rather to operate behind a terrible offensive line, it's Jameis Winston, okay? This is week 4. The idea of this, you know what this screams, guys? This screams Brian Daboll trying to save his job. That's what this screams. Brian Daboll is trying to win football games, and he doesn't feel like either Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston can win him football games. Okay, so why the heck did Joe Schoen even do the signings then? Why did he even do that? It was literally no point. Brian Daboll, it seems like he's trying to save his job here, and I don't think he's doing a good job of it. The rushing game hasn't been very good. The passing game hasn't been very good. The defense itself hasn't been that good either. I mean, they looked pretty solid against the Chiefs, but to be honest, that's more an indictment against the Chiefs than it is on the Giants. In my opinion, this is a complete mistake. I hope Jaxson Dart succeeds, but right now it feels like he's being thrown into the wolves, and I'm honestly a little worried about him.
Yeah, I'm worried about him too, Sammy. Like we talked about, and kind of to your point to the defense has looked okay. It looked okay last week against Kansas City. It looked okay in week 1 against Washington, but we also saw Dallas throw an absolute party on that defense in week 2. So I've actually liked what I've seen from Abdul Carter a lot. They've been playing Abdul Carter a lot of outside, like stand-up outside linebacker, and playing him, kind of downhill against the run, and he looks incredible. So that's a thing to look forward to. And 2, we talked about it with Cam Scatterbo. According to Next Gen, he had 3 explosive runs, 10 plus yards, and forced 7 missed tackles against the Chiefs defense. So that's an exciting part of this Giants offense as well. It's just not enough. I mean, there's just nope. not enough to support Jaxson Dart right now in New York. And like we both said, I'm not looking forward to his future right now because of the situation in New York right now. But Joe, we got to kick it to you. Is this a good decision? Are the Giants making the right decision by starting Jaxson Dart here in week 4?
No. I mean, we all thought that this was a sit for a year, let him learn. You brought in 2 veterans, and the only reason he was going to play this year was it was week 17, week 18, get him some snaps at the end of the year, nothing's on the line anymore, and let him go out there, right? That's why you brought in Jameis Winston. That's why Russell Wilson is there. And unfortunately, Brian Daboll is trying to save his job. But there is one place in the National Football League that the team is at the whim of the masses, of the raging mob, and that's New York. New York fans, you guys are like the Baskin Robbins of quarterbacks. Your flavor of the week. You guys, when Danny Dimes was taking you to the playoffs, oh, Danny Dimes is great. That's the greatest contract I've ever seen. Comes out, gets hurt, sucks the rest of the time. Tommy Cutlets, give me Cutlets. Oh, it was great, wasn't it? You guys love that, right? Now, every time you see Russell Wilson run out on the field, you boo Russell Wilson because, Jaxson Dart's not out there. You guys bully your franchise into ruining good quarterbacks. And I say ruining good quarterbacks because every quarterback that has left the Meadowlands, has left MetLife, has started to produce somewhere else. Daniel Jones looks like an MVP caliber quarterback in Indy right now. Sam Darnold just signed a massive contract, and he's got Seattle to an undefeated record. Geno Smith was great in Seattle, took him to multiple playoff berths, and, he's in a Raiders team right now. You kind of see some of the turnovers happening in there, but they're still a competitive team. They're still in games, right? They're still a good team. I would not be surprised if Zach Wilson comes out and shows to be some sort of competent quarterback somewhere eventually, because that's what happens when you guys chase these quarterbacks out there, because you get them out there too soon. They're in a bad situation and they try to overperform. And the minute they have one bad game, one bad throw, get him off the field. I'm done with him. He's a bum. And you guys ruin their confidence. And the media there is cutthroat, just vicious, rabid. Right? And the fans feed off that shit as if it's truth. The media there spins a story, the fans eat that shit up, and you see it in the stands on Sundays. That being said, there is a silver lining to this. Jaxson Dart brings a wrinkle to this offense that does allow Cam Scatterbo and the rest of this offense to perform, and that is the RPO. Jaxson Dart is the most mobile quarterback on this roster. You saw it in the plays he was in. There was like George Karlaftis had to stay outside because he knew that if he crashed in on Cam Scatterbo, Jaxson Dart was going for 10 or 15 yards because they had it blocked downfield. You cause indecision in these edge contained players. You cause indecision by having Jaxson Dart out there. Now, is Brian Daboll good enough to realize that and implement that? That's a question to be had. This is the first true mobile quarterback he's had. Daniel Jones, I know, is we call him a mobile quarterback. I would say he's like the low tier. If there were retail stores that sold mobile quarterbacks, he's the Kmart mobile quarterback. All right, like the guy is not lightning fast. He's not like really elusive. He's not big. He's not trucking anybody. He is the discount version of what you get. All right, that's Daniel Jones. Jaxson Dart is a little more mobile. I think he's a little faster. He's a little more shifty. We've seen him in college do it. I think that he provides something special that you haven't seen in this Giants offense before that's going to cause indecision. It's going to open those rushing lanes for Cam Scatterbo. I think this is a run-first offense. I see this as a jumbo set team, 1-2 tight end, Malik Neighbors, Wan'Dale Robinson are your wide receivers. That's it. That's how this is going to work. They're going to protect their quarterback in an ideal situation. If the game gets out of hand, that's okay. Run your offense. By putting Jaxson Dart in, this is practice. You're not trying to win games now. This is a development. You develop the guy. If you win some games, great. If you don't, you don't. But if you do it the right way and you develop an offense around RPOs with Jaxson Dart, this can be a success. The problem is that if Brian Daboll gets fired after this, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was about to push back. Like, if they don't win and this is a wash of the season, that's why you're starting him, then it's counterintuitive to what you want to do. So, I mean, I don't think that there's no way Brian Daboll made this decision with the thought of, well, season's over. I mean, there's no way.
True, but at the same time, with what I just said, Jaxson Dart probably gives him the best chance to win.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. It's
Possibly.
definitely up for debate. I mean, like to Sammy's point, I mean, Brian Dable kind of has to win in order to keep his job, you know. So like there, and I just told you the schedule. Like the schedule isn't much easier after that. Like they have the Bears, they got the Packers right after that. Like the schedule's just tough the entire rest of the year. So I think Dable does have to win a couple of games to keep his job here. But to your point, Joe, if the organization sees the steps, they see Jaxson Dart being in an offense that works for him, and they see the strides, even if they don't win many games this year, I think that could be reason to keep Dable as well. But I think we're all in agreement in the fact that this should have happened way later in the year. Like if it's week 10, week 11, week 12, okay, this is one thing. But week 4 is way too early for Jaxson Dart to be starting, and the New York Giants are trying to screw up another young quarterback.
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.